Hello, ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Ringru, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we come back to you with our continuing coverage of, what was it again, Rang? How do we call this?
First Steel Division Championship.
Sounds just so sexy coming with a Canadian accent. But today on Sianno, gonna have ourselves a nice little duet of destruction going on. But before that, we want to go and give you guys a notice about something great that's happening. Rang, what is that?
Well, starting in February will be the second edition for the SD League. The first one ran earlier last year, or later last year, depends on... Anyway, nonetheless, we're going to be posting the sign-ups to it down in the description of our videos. It's a 1v1 tournament. Many people participate in it. It's a lot of fun. It gives us a lot of good replays as well, so definitely check it out.
Well, and besides just, checking out for your own fun, I mean, we got to, otherwise, if we don't give us replays, we're just twiddling our thumbs, and then it's going to be you and me, Rang, just kind of like monologuing, and who wants to listen to that? But before we get to that, of course, like you said, it's going to be in the description of both of our videos. Who is duking it out here on Sianno?
Well, on left-hand side in blue, we have ArturoDiaz playing as 14th Infantry with balanced income. And on the right-hand side, we have a solo ring pixy playing as 3rd Armored with a Maverick income. 3rd American Armored.
It's one of those things I get so nervous whenever I see the 3rd. As a German player, I mean, like, I look at the 3rd often, and I think to myself, man, that's a powerhouse division.
Yeah.
What can the 14th do to really combat that? Is there anything they can do?
Well, you do have some Tigers, and you do have Stugs, which are decent hits against the Sherman Armada that's going to come at you. But yeah, it's really just going to be about setting up good anti-tank platforms to try and deal with the maximum amount of half-tracks and Shermans that are going to be thrown at your face. You do have more infantry than the Americans, which is nice, but the Americans also have semi-automatic rifles, and they're like the second best guns in game.
True, and what's more than that, I kind of feel like a lot of the American divisions just have that half track, and we talk about it in SD1. We're going to talk about it again in SD2. That 50 cal is really a game changer on so many battlefields.
And also just like the regular half track, I believe the regular half track is only it's only 5 points, same as the German one. And honestly, taking half tracks in general like that is always a good idea, I think, because it just gives you a little bit of extra firepower for only 5 points. Dude, if I could go into a store and get a half track for $5, I'd take it.
I'm not sure many people would disagree with you on that one. Now, it is worth noticing, if for no other reason than because of its uniqueness, we do have ourselves a hero stroke on the map. It is Walther Oberloskamp over on the northwestern side of things. And you can see kind of the initial breakout was always going to go to that allies, that the mobility of the allies is just so much more dynamic than the Germans. But soloing Pixie is actually being rather mild in my impression.
Yeah, it's got some of the Jeeps moving up north to try and take the town, which is the best call. Down south, no Jeeps, but at the same time, yeah, Turo doesn't have anything too fast either, just the, yeah, okay, Upper Blitz is pretty fast technically. But yeah, southern side is going to be a little bit slower, but more heavily armed from both sides. We've got 2 Shermans being brought in from the Americans, as well as a bloody Tiger. An A-phase Tiger from Arturo.
Well, I do like seeing, by the way, is this 105 Howie being brought on in the south. That early artillery, I think, is going to be kind of rather decisive and forcing the issue. It just matches with an IG-18, but if the 105 Howitzer or... Yeah, I mean, come on. Kind of hard to really have that contested here.
Yeah.
But in the north, we are going to see there is an M8 that's just been getting shot at, and not really shot up just yet, but between the 184 and the 290, yeah, a bunch of Russian equipment here.
But yeah, I mean, against those little Greyhounds, they're pretty much good enough. This Greyhound has barely anything for armor.
Oof, and an early artillery barrage down south just shreks the southern tip of the line. And actually, I love this. Look at this. We have these 4 half-tracks that have been waiting just for that word, and now we have 2 Shermans moving up and maybe in close support?
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's perfect timing. He is going to run into some anti-tank gunfire, but if you just keep on trucking...
Or is he?
Oh, the IG-18 just barely lost line of sight. Same thing at Pack 45. Actually in a pretty bad spot at 45 mil, and that's just going to allow on the armored rifles to just rush on through mechanized firepower and just destroy everything.
Yes, indeed. Now, of course, you're going to see one half-track has been kind of its legs broken, but hey, you know what? I will lose a 5-point half-track to take out 20 or 30 points of infantry, and that's going to happen very damn quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this idea of push, guys. Perfect timing with the artillery and then the counter push. Arturo's seeing this, he's getting some Luxes in, he's getting more infantry. He's going to try and hold this breakout, so to speak.
He is, yes, but there's also a couple of Stuarts moving on in as well in support of those Shermans, and better yet, these are the recon Stuarts. So that's increased utility right there that the Germans may not have at the moment.
Yeah, definitely help with just trying to spot those infantries. But yeah, second artillery barrage being dropped. Not getting too much damage, but it's going to hinder those Luxes from getting a little bit too close. Yeah, it's
Certainly
definitely hindering them.
Also worth noting, we do have ourselves a town fight going to the north. The Germans are trying to aggress. They might be able to. I mean, the armored rifles are not the heftiest of material, but it's not something I want to go and be consistently engaged with.
Yeah, it's also the help of the half-track and Greyhound on the outskirts of the town. And there's no German AT nearby. Well, there's a Sickering squad there, but he's not in position.
It is 13-11, and only barely so, because we might see, yep, the Germans take it right back 12-12 with that town flag. Here's my question. With Sianno, is that a suitably easy flag to defend, or is that a flag that's just almost begging to be taken?
The one that Germans has captured in that middle town?
Yes, sir.
I'd say it's pretty easy once you capture the town in its entirety and the forests are north and south, because you can just set up AT guns and defences in the forest and just throw in enough infantry along that stretch to slow anything down.
Seems certainly fair. Now, to the north, of course, we had some small action, but this down south is where it's at. We even have a jumbo being brought on in.
Ooh.
So very heavy investment in that early tank play.
Yeah, it's very interesting, cool, and because usually, I mean, it's very rare to see jumbos in ST2 to begin with, but an A-phase one, jeez, that's a bloody unicorn.
But I feel like he's terrified right now because of that Tiger in there, and that 190 is just an absurd amount of armor.
Yeah, that's a pretty good amount of armor, I'm not going to lie. And yeah, especially considering Solo Ring is playing a Maverick Income 3rd Armored, probably going to have all the core toys early on.
True. Very, very true. Quick glance to the north, not really a whole lot's going on. Yep, down south is the main event here. Interesting, we actually had this... Oh my god, the Greyhound is jumping in after him. If they can get him to surrender, this could be quite the coup.
Yeah, how did the Tiger miss?
I know.
I guess he was moving, to be fair. Oh, he's getting the rear shot on him. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is funny. This is funny for you. That's just just such cringe for me.
Just like simulations, perfect.
Perfect. Oh, right. That's exactly how they wrote it up, right?
Yeah. I mean, there was like an instance, I believe, of Greyhound actually knocking out either a Tiger or King Tiger by just running around the back and shooting it in the ass.
You're kidding?
Yeah, it actually happened. It's debatable whether it was a King Tiger or Tiger, but there was an instance of that happening somewhere in Normandy invasion.
What we are seeing in the meantime, we're seeing some Grenadiers being rushed down to the south. Now, 14th Infantry, we haven't seen a ton of them recently, and arguably for some very kind of harsh reasons.
Yeah.
What is, in your mind, what's the best economy for the 14th Infantry?
Probably, I think balance probably best. Just try to play that steady infantry game. Yeah, I mean, you can do like an A-phase rush with them, or the Luxes and Tigers, but they're just alright. They're B-tier division for a reason. If you want to play better infantry division, you just play 78th. But 78th is a little bit broken, I think.
Oh, screw the 78th. No. You play Group Hartneck.
Oh yeah, Group Hartneck. Group Hartneck is also extremely top tier.
It's hard to play anything else. A couple more tanks. Oh my gosh, yeah. It's just gonna be armor rifle spam the entire time. To the north, the Germans are getting a little bit frisky, or is this solo wing pixy? No, it's the Germans kind of pushing on in, and this is interesting. Trying to pick up some territory elsewhere, and I like this. There's a lot of heavy equipment here.
Yeah.
And not much in the way of the Americans. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think Diaz is doing a very good, like, push up north, try to maybe distract Soloring down south. I mean, if he can capture that town in the northern part, that'd be another nice flag to his arsenal. But at the same time, the problem is with this map, it's very hard to push along the northern side for both players because there's a big hill you have to climb.
Well, that is certainly true, but you have to climb every mountain and search every stream, if you know what I mean. Now, I love this. We have the two M2 flamethrowers, and we have one squad of grenadiers. Honestly, hand to God, I don't know who will win this one.
I'm gonna give it to the flamethrowers.
I guess you do. I was waiting to see something a little bit more of a bang for our buck here out of that grenadier, but,
Nope. The grenadier doesn't have any grenades. Ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess, yeah. None of the cool grenades it is. But that's like many grenades in run, you know, the Pioneer one.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
The second Tiger's been brought on out, and he is certainly asserting himself. I am a little nervous for that 105 howitzer. He's not used his third barrage yet, has he?
Maybe? I wouldn't see him being so ballsy with it if he hasn't. Or if he yeah, yes. Words. Save me, Khan.
Flames on the side of his head are coming up, folks. I can smell the smoke from here in the south. Now, one thing is for sure, it is 15-9 right now. That's the one thing I do know for sure.
Yeah, it is a fact.
I also know that that town that had been so briefly within the German control is no longer, and that Jumbo has managed a lucky crit on that Tiger.
But it's really going to be kind of a piss and match between both of them, as neither can penetrate the other.
Unless we get some weird kind of side shots, which are entirely possible. Now,
yeah, it's...
Yes, sir?
It's just a very good combined arms per se from Solo.
Yeah.
No, like it's just how you do third armored guys. Like the half tracks, the Shermans, the armored rifles. This is how you armor division in general.
Yeah, and you know the thing I really enjoyed is the fact that that off map was so perfectly timed with the half track push. A lot of folks are going to go and just kind of tell you, yes, you got to go and immediately deploy your troops. No, that strategic reserve is why you have half tracks.
Yes. Yeah, keeping him in the bloody half tracks and then moving them up, just a little bit of timing. Imagine if he didn't, and he just like walked the infantry across the half tracks, towing behind. He would not have been as successful without purses. He would not have enough time to just bum rush onto the other side of that field.
Can we please talk about the fact that we have 4 M8 Scots being brought into the north against the 4 Grenadiers?
This is bizarre. I mean, you never really see Scots being used because they're kind of shit.
I know. But
I mean, I think in SD2 they're not as. That's still kind of there.
No, yeah, they're not as pants as they used to be, and even then they weren't really like a full set of pants. They were like capris.
Yeah, what makes them bad? Just why I say that shit is because with like the Panzer IV Efron and Panzer III N. They have a rate of fire of 12 rounds a minute, while the Scot only has 6 rounds a minute. They buffed it like months and months ago for those Panzer IVs and support guns to have a faster rate of fire, but they never went back and did the Scots. It seems a lot of like ST-44 units that have been added. There's been balance changes, but they forget to do it with the ST-44 divisions.
Juncker down to the south, going after a ton of this equipment. Looks like going after the Jumbo.
Jumbo.
He gets knocked down, but he gets up again.
Yeah, he completely missed the Jumbo, just by a bit. They're not easy to go out for a bomb and run.
No, not even remotely. I really do want to see these 4 Scots actually go into combat here, but nope, one shot comes in and really jams a gun.
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself, kid. On the plus side, I mean, the guns themselves, yes, they're slow firing, but the Americans do need an assault gun. And when you have 4 of them, yeah, you're probably going to lose 25%, but you will at least stress something out there.
Yeah, it is going to work out to his favor. Just, here we go, get them pinned down. But, yeah. Oh, Diaz is doing a pretty decent offensive up north with the infantry. He's holding on to the up part, and I think he's spending a lot of his resources up north as the southern side is just completely collapsed. But, I mean, if you just look on the mini-map and you see how many blue squares there are compared to red squares, it's pretty much in Solo Ring's favor.
It certainly is a rising crimson tide.
Mm-hmm.
What's more, though he's got tigers out in the field in kind of decent numbers, at least initially, Arturo has not been able to preserve those tigers. No. And yes, he is killing the occasional half-track, but a half-track does not a win make.
Yeah, but as you can see with Solo, a lot of his Shermans are in very sneaky positions. He has them in the forest, so, you know, they've got cover, and they only shoot at close range, which is more reliable for him. It's how you use, you know, medium tanks in general. Don't keep them out in the open, put them in cover.
And you can see why, actually, down to the south, as we have, wow, a Strug nails up one from a beautiful long-distance shot.
Mm-hmm.
And another one dies to a tiger who gets brewed up that nice little pot of coffee there in the woods. But in your third armored, you can absorb those losses. I mean, like, we're seeing 76 mils being brought in. We're seeing... Wow, actually, we're not seeing any more Shermans to the south, but we are seeing M4A1s to the north. Not entirely shocking, but what is shocking is, like you said, the absolute nothing that used to be the German infantry.
Yeah, and now we got this northern counterpost here of the half-tracks as they rush along the open field, and the armored rifles clear the forest just south of him. But yeah, I mean, this is how you do armored division, guys. This is really, really well played. Really well played.
Well, we have seen Solo Wing Pixie before. ArturoDiaz is a bit of an unknown quantity to us.
Yeah.
And so in Solo Wing Pixie, yeah, he's got his occasional hiccups here, but this is extremely well done. Last throw of the dice down to the south, though, 5 Grenadier squads being thrown on in. This Tiger has been panicked. I don't know if the 76 mil has been firing at him. No, but the armored rifles will with a Zook, and that is a dead Tiger.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Are you going to continue to fire on these trucks? Well, they are, but not in time to kill some of these squads.
It's kind of just a GI thing. If you look at like the armored rifles bar, it has the armor penetration for the Zook on the like unit icon in the game. If you look at the armored rifles, it doesn't give you an armor penetration number. It's really bugging me.
You mean for the DPs versus the armored rifles? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like... Why is
this
that number not... Yeah.
It's bad, but it's one of those things that's kind of accepted at this point. You also talk about the fact that we have 4 Shermans trying desperately to get around this Tiger. Dude, you're still not going to freak it out. The attack of the mole men. Ugh, yay. Regardless, it has been 19.5, almost 25, excuse me, 24, for quite a bit of time now, and you can see, other than a couple of small pockets here and there, the 3rd Armored has just absolutely shellacked the 14th Infantry, and that's kind of to be expected.
Yeah, 14th is... They're just very average. They're not terrible, but they're not great as well. It's a very average division.
Man, 21-3. Arturo, my friend, I am sorry.
That was pretty tough.
Yeah, that was a big ask. He did do a pretty good
job holding out early on. Ring had a... He patterned it.
True. Yeah. Very true. There's a lot of interesting ideas, just not the execution behind them.
Yeah.
You can see surprisingly mild KD, basically, for both sides. Not a lot of standouts, a couple of triples or quadruples here and there. We have 1 Tiger Fury taking out 3 half-tracks into M4. But when all is said and done, I mean, the tail of the tape is pretty much in that initial debriefing here with 22 of 24.
Yeah.
That said, Arturo, keep your head up, because honestly, Solo Wing Pixie is one of the, I would say, higher elo guys we've been casting recently, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Ryan, any final thoughts?
sign up for SD League.
Exactly, folks. Again, check out that link in the description for both videos. If you liked watching it, it's even better playing it. But until Thursday, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Ranru. Take it easy.